walking around with like a billion regen at level 5.
It's true. Reminds you of that Dragon Knight a little bit.
It does, yeah. I mean, that's another reason Dragon Knight's so strong, is because he scales with his regen scales with the strength now. God, look at Lil, look. What is he? He's taunting, man. If Doom had a taunt, he'd be pressing it right now, I'm sure.
I mean, he's not level 6, so he doesn't... Sort of just intimidating him with his body in this level 3 Infernal Blade.
He's being mischievous.
Picks up that bounty rune. You know, I have to say, a little underwhelming for Big Num's Enchantress so far. 0, 2, and 2. Definitely would have liked to see him get a little bit more done with this laning phase. They will finish off a tower down bottom, it looks like. G did just deploy an ultimate, so that's an exorcism down. Up top. Oh, thought they were going to have a go onto this Wraith King. But no, it's down bottom. Hook shot in. Dendy doing damage over the tree line. It's G in a lot of trouble trying to drain health, but it's not going to happen. Vanscore gets the cold feet, but the battery assault is still going. That poor ancient apparition locked in the trees will be punished and finished off. 2 members down on the side of Gambit.
God, that was a nice hook. The angle almost looked like he couldn't hit it because of the creeps, but he kind of put it so it like clipped to the right a little bit, and he got the DP, and then canceled the ancient apparition's DP too. God, look at all those skeletons on the top lane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and this is why you max this. The skeletons are ridiculous for pushing. They actually do a pretty incredible amount of damage. LeBron, with a beautiful Nightmare, mitigates some of the damage, but in the end, it's not going to be enough. No getting out of this one as he gets crit to be finished off. Now the skeletons come marching in, and this tower will start to get chopped down. Look at this thing, Jenkins.
They have a lot of HP. Man, shouldn't they be wraiths? Why are they skeletons? There's wraiths in the game. Why aren't they wraiths?
That's a good question. I don't know. Holding true to his roots as the old Skeleton King, perhaps. Mid-tier 1, Big Num TP's in. He is now level 6, so Impetus going to be on the field. Big damage.
Yeah, that's good. They need that. He has a medallion, no boots. No boots medallion. A lot of no boots builds these days for these people who are playing fast heroes.
Oh, nice scan from the Radiant. I saw that clockwork missile, so kind of predicting where he might be. Hook shot at the ready, thinking about the opening onto G. There is also a Doom, recently turned level 6.
Oh god, that is an important kill, and easy too. I mean, he's a level 7 DP. Clock destroys DP.
Clock wants to go for it, and there it is. General connects, power cogs come out, and the Doom for good measure. G, 100% dead here, it would seem. Ice Blast is going to come in. Does connect on 4. Nicely placed, but no follow-up will be there, and this tier 1 will fall.
Clockwork is going for a... what is that new item even called? Oh, actually, he just went for Urn. He's going to go for Drums next. But presumably he's going to go for that new item, which
Spirit
I keep
Vessel?
forgetting what it's. Spirit Vessel, of course. Despite being an offlaner, I mean, it kind of started off as a support item, but then people are realizing, like, hey man, maybe we should just go for this as early as possible because it's just imbalanced.
So this is also interesting from Lil, picking up a Blightstone. Not an item you see just casually on a Doom with Tranquil Boots too frequently, but a little extra damage from these right clicks.
I actually understand. I think it's for pushing. I think it's because they know that they're having a really strong early game, but they don't have like particularly great tower push aside from just right-clicking towers.
Sand King moves into the tree line. He'll try to TP out, and it looks
Can't
like he will get interrupted. That's a Fiend Script there, and Big Num going to get chased down on this side. Crystallize in general going to move through the tree line. Battery Assault doing a lot of work as he gets killed. Meanwhile, over here, Cheshire Cat is going to survive.
Look at this. Look at this Sand King up here. Lil placed a sentry on the ground, not to scout the sandstorm. It was because he used the sentry vision that you get from placing a sentry to see him in the trees and canceled the TP. Like, I've never seen somebody do that with a sentry where it's actually worth it, but it was worth it there because he saw where the Sand King blinked to and canceled his TP. Like, have you ever seen somebody use
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just I have no follow-up. It's fucking awesome.
That was ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy. Well, Navi very comfortably in the lead right now. 10-5. Wraith King, really the only one farming well for the Radiant. You look at that net worth chart, and it is Navi taking control. Everyone besides the Wraith King really poor right now. Death Prophet just picking up that Veil of Discord, but She's kind of in poverty mode. We'll see
Oh,
initiation
Wraith
as
King's
Wraith King jumps in. Ice Blast does fly through, but LeBron again with the Nightmare. So beautifully done. Big Num's going to get turned on, but he'll take LeBron with him. Vanscore dies in the back line. Dendy in general are doing a lot of work here to isolate the supports. Nice stun across on 2. This Wraith King alongside Cheshire Cat does channel the ultimate. They're trying to do as much damage as they can, but this Navi squad is just too darn tanky. The Wraith King falls, and that's the ultimate as he comes back. Infernal Blade. A lot of damage, but it just doesn't matter. He's got the Blade Mail. It doesn't return enough. A lot of low HP heroes on Navi, but when it's all said and done here, Jenkins, it's a 1 for 5.
God, that was so close to being really good for Gambit, too. It's just, I mean, Navi know their limits. Like, they knew that they could take that fight. I was feeling uncomfortable for them there for a second, but then they all just, like, ran around in that fight at 10% HP, 30% HP, and all managed to somehow survive. Like, just really good. I don't know if discipline's the word. Just like knowing their limits. They really knew their limits in that fight. So well played to them. And once again, Doom going for this max Inferno Blade and Devour build.
Yeah, I think also seeing a little bit of the weakness of Wraith King right there. We're getting into this window where he needs a lot of help. Blade Mail, Blink Dagger, it's great in these kind of 1v1s. If you have the advantage and they're trying to run away from you, sure, Wraith King feels pretty strong, but in just a man-up fight, you don't really want to go blow for blow with a Viper, or really a Gyrocopter, for that matter. You know, this Navi team just feels a little bit more deadly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the thing is also they have so much damage on the side of Navi, but then they also have the Viper to like finish off. Other than the Viper, they honestly have relatively the same amount of like, you know, team fight damage or whatever. But if a fight goes at all good and you have a Viper on your team, he will kill everybody. That's the thing. He will kill everybody with the Gyro and the Viper. Like it's very very easy to have a fight when people are low enough to execute with that Viper.
Awkward fight here as General tries to hookshot and TP out. Not going to happen. They tried to set that up with Cogs on the high ground so Enchantress couldn't get out. But it did not really work.
Pickoffs like that are going to be really important for keeping these guys in the game. And as I say that, they actually go for a smoke. They definitely want to abuse this timing. Oh, they're actually going to go into rush. Man, this team, they love doing this. This is like the 4th time we've seen them do this.
Yeah, and they will deploy the Exorcism. Navi not really in a position to contest this, and it will probably go in Gambit's favor. Clockwork is up, but of course Hookshot isn't. Also committing 4 into the pit. They did kind of show the Sand King. I think maybe making Navi a little bit less suspicious that this is happening.
I like that they do this. I like that they smoke for it, almost like threatening the enemy team, where it's like you don't know if we're roshing, you don't know if we're smoking to kill you. And if they do go and try and contest Roche on the side of Navi, then they're down a clock and they're fighting into a smoke. So it's like a free Roche, honestly, when they go for this. They just blow everything for it.
Well, they'll give it to Wraith King, so he'll have 3 lives now. And that can be pretty deadly, but at the same time, I think Navi aren't super scared. It's not like in the hands of a Storm Spirit or something, where that completely resets the fight, and after you're committed, he's just going to come back and kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably want to kite him anyway until the very end, like they did in the previous fight.
Oh, they see Cheshire Cat. They catch him with the Fiend's Grip on the low ground, and that's going to start this off as a 4v5. That's the pick Navi wanted.
That was a max range Fiend Grip. If he made that obvious at all or screwed that up, Sankin would just blink away. So it's nice that he very careful with getting in range for that.
Yeah, that ward on the high ground there, giving him everything they needed. Now this tier 2 in the mid will fall. Meanwhile, in the top lane, G and Lil going at it. The silence will keep G alive.
Oh, wow.
No way to interrupt it, and he just TP's out.
What is the silence duration at level 1? 3 seconds? Yeah, 3 seconds. So, TP's 3 seconds, right? So yeah, there's no way he could have interrupted that. Even with Inferno Blade, I think it wouldn't have been the right timing.
I like
He tried for the net.
Dendy's build here on the Viper. He's picked up Pipe, Dragon Lance, now just going right into the Hurricane Pike. Very.
I like this build on Viper too. I hear from
Yeah.
other people, people are like, he's a magic damage dealer now. It's like, no, dude. This hero just needs to stay alive and throw his poison attack on as many people as possible. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you it will do the most. People build this hero around Nether Toxin. I don't think it makes any sense at all. Like, it's a good ability, but it's also a really great one-point wonder. You don't need to build around it. What's broken is the poison attack, dude. It does
Here we go. Team fight breaks out. We'll get back into Viper in a moment as now everything gets opened. G pops the exorcism, and they're going to try to commit for him. Doom uses his ultimate, and they just take DP out of the fight, trying to ignore the Wraith King, it would seem, but now they have no choice. The Blade Mail gets used. It's a huge epicenter. Stun on 3. Big Num on the high ground, throwing damage in left and right, but Dendi is just too beefy. He's going to win the right-click war against the Enchantress. Now on the run, the Wraith King has no way to close the gap. He'll finally get vision for the stun, but it's not enough damage. General pushes him back. Somehow Dendi's still alive. Lil and General might be able to clean this up. Cheshire Cat will fall, and now Wraith King goes down for a second time. This is the last one. 17 wand charges. Now a buyback from the Enchantress as Bane rotates through. He's going to cover the angles here and try to use that Nightmare in case of a TP in, but it's not going to happen. Wraith King is just going to get taken down 1 for 3, and just like that, the Aegis didn't really seem to make a big difference. Ice Blast only connects on Lil, and Navi will definitely find the advantage in that fight.
Surprisingly, they won with the Gyro dying so early in that fight with 3 lives on the Wraith King. Good God, they forced an Enchantress buyback too. That went really, really well for them. Doom is just building very tanky in this game.
Yeah, it was a great setup from the Sand King. I was a little surprised it didn't do more damage, but look at that build. He's just going to go into the Crimson Guard.
I feel like they need to... with the items that Navi have in terms of their raw HP, they're going to need to combo this Sand King Epicenter with the Ancient Apparition Blast like on multiple units, I think, or they're not going to be able to win these fights. G is just getting doomed in every fight, or they need some way of like making sure he doesn't get doomed so he can actually do damage. That's what they need to do, is they need to... One of those two things. G needs to survive to do the damage, or the supports need to combo like incredibly, incredibly well with Wraith King hitting, you know. Because otherwise it's just not enough. They have too much HP, and they're going to have a BKB on Crystallize now.
Yeah, Wraith King went back for the armlet. Now he's got queued up the Sacred Relic. Did he sell the armlet back?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, I think he bought it then sold it back. So gonna queue up for the Radiance instead. A bold play. If he can get it, it could be a game changer. But now with the BKB up on the Gyro, seems like Navi may really just want to crank this up a notch and stay very aggressive. They're going on the Big Num mid, and the Enchantress just flops over.
Gyro is really not gonna... I mean, if they keep focusing the DP, I don't think they have any way to kill Gyro anymore with the BKB. Like, Wraith King is just gonna get kited by him. They would need the DP ulti. God, Doom is so tanky. His HP, 2,000 HP. 20 armor.
Navi just feel like they're a step ahead of Gambit kind of at every turn here. Clockwork, no hook shot. Taunting his way forward.
Clock have
Meanwhile,
pretty supporty items, honestly. Is do more farm than Clock.
Cheshire Cat. There was a rocket queued up. He tried to TP home. Even a sentry gets used. It's another kill, and now I think this just ends up being a free tier 2 for Navi. By the way, look at these Navi wards in the mid lane here. Just look at this incredible vision all over this central access point into the jungle and the base.
And they've scouted the Wraith King and the... oh my god, they really do. They have 4 wards. They've been saving those for ages, haven't they?
Guess so.
But they scout, they see that the Wraith King is... I think they know the DP, the Wraith King, and the Enchantress were in the jungle, so it's just such free map control. Like, they can just do whatever they want elsewhere because they know those heroes are there.
Yep. Well, Navi decide to back up.
Waiting for Roche, I guess.
Yeah, no reason to press it too far. 12k gold advantage, still within throwable margins. Going to be a while on Roche, so if that's what they're waiting for, it is going to be a few more minutes. Wraith King with the Blink Dagger, he should be able to make it out. Doom gets close, but can't quite find him.
Almost got him. But he went for 150 Devour bonus gold.
Not surprised.
Yeah, that's definitely the talent. I feel like 20% evasion just... You know, why would you... I've gone for that. I've just like regretted it so much.
You just don't feel it. You know, I guess there's probably certain lineups against a really heavy melee core lineup where it feels like, well, that's just straight up 20% damage mitigation, but definitely not the case in this game.
I feel like if you're Doom and you want resistance against physical damage cores, you just build a blade mail and then you want them to hit you.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
It's a really good item on Doom. So that's why I think people, that's why I skip it. Because it's like, well, if I want that, I'm just gonna get a blade mail anyway. Enchantress trying to split push. This is such a sad situation to be on Enchantress. Like this hero already falls off a lot in the mid game, and to be in a position like this where you have to split push and stuff. I mean, she's gonna be the lowest level in the game. No, the ancient apparition is, but
It's Rocket from downtown, dude.
she's not doing too bad actually. Like staying up to par in terms of farm and XP. Actually, she's not doing the worst.
Still, 13k. I mean, Navi are just strangling the map. You can see the positioning. Like Gambit, kind of afraid to go out anywhere past like here. You know, sort of like that's where the new river is, and Navi are just waiting for somebody to get close to it.
Yeah, Navi doesn't really need to do much other than walk around and hit creeps, because if the enemy team ganks any of their heroes, I think that they just survive no matter what. Like, even if it's like a Viper solo, I think that in the time that they would kill the Viper with the Hurricane Pike and the Pipe of Insight, the Gyro would be at the racks hitting their tier 3, you know?
So,
like,
yeah, I definitely agreed, but the Radiance is up on Wraith King, and this can be a deceptive moment where you feel like, okay guys, I finally got my item, let's take a fight. And that can be true. However, you have to remember that Radiance is purely offensive. I mean, yes, there's a mischance associated, but it gives you no survivability. They killed Wraith King 3 times in the last fight, so now he needs to be careful. Yes, he's got the damage, but he's going to take it too.
yeah, and especially considering that the entire Dire lineup is basically magic damage right now, so Radiance mischance does just does nothing.
Yeah.
Their magic damage has only gotten it's more since the last time they fought, you know.
Yeah.
Skills have been leveled up, etc., etc. Wraith King has nothing else to prevent that.
Smoke now from Navi.
There's double damage on Gyro. This is pretty...
Dendi breaks it. Blink back from the Wraith King. They have a pretty good idea of where Gambit could be. They'll put a ward on the high ground. They see exactly where Navi are as the smokes break. Stun now onto Dendi, the target they want initiated on. Cheshire Cat jumps in, but he doesn't have an epi channel. The Ice Blast flies across. Not going to do a hell of a lot as Vanscore dies first. Lil in the front lines just pushing them all back. Kind of an awkward fight, but Gambit have to play it very defensive. Doom traded for Exorcism, but after all that, it's just a dead Ancient Apparition. That's it.
I'd be definitely pretty happy with trading Doom for Exo, because I don't think there's any way that Gambit fights at Roshan without Exo. Even with AA Blast, I think that they can still fight it. In terms of Navi can fight it. I don't think that they... Because, well, I guess, yeah, Doom for Exo. I guess they could combo the Sand King Epicenter and the AA Blast really well, but he's blasting right now just to harass, so it doesn't look like they're going to try to fight it at all. And I think this is when Navi pushes higher. This is what they've been waiting for.
Well, they're moving in.
15k gold network. Oh, they're actually going to fight it.
Big Num's charging forward like they want to do this, and Navi do back out of the pit. All the ults available except Doom and Exorcism. Ice Blast going to be coming in about 15. Navi scared to get caught with their pants around their ankles, and they will take their side of the high ground.
Gambit's just staying near Roche. They don't want to lose this. They know this is gonna be high ground, and they go for the Aegis steal. Yeah, they keep doing this, man, over and over. Like, this is... They love doing this. They love playing around Roche Pit.
Hook shot. I heard it. Off the mark, it looks like they're going to go in. Lil with the stun. Now Gyrocopter pops the BKB. Roche goes to the Dire, but the Aegis gets picked up by Wraith King. He's going to be the first one to go. Big Num pops the Wisps, but with BKB still on, I think Wraith King's going to die a second time. A big epi from Cheshire Cat brings down Crystallize, but Vanscore, he falls as well. Lil now on the run after a nice stun on 2. The Wraith King with his 3rd life comes back to life, and it looks like Navi might not be able to win this fight as they lose Dendi, and LeBron will go shortly after. It's a 1 for 3, but they do kill
Dude,
the Aegis.
this team is so good at playing around Roche. Like, if there's anything that these guys are amazing at that we've seen in the last couple series, like they really know their limits when it comes to taking Roshan, fighting around Roshan. Like they don't have the Roche anxiety that a lot of people feel in PUBG. Like, oh, we gotta get the Aegis, or oh god, you know, going in and fighting. Like, they're so sneaky about it. Like they just go in and steal it, they'll fight it. Like, god, dude, that's. I wish I didn't get Roche anxiety, man. I'm always the guy that's like first one in, feeding, and enemy team just gets Roshan anyway.
Well, kind of an awkward time to pause, but the DP, they're about to kill this tower, and she uses Exorcism. So backdoor protection is on, creeps are on the way. Makes me think that Gambit might try for a high ground play here.
The Wraith King has a cheese still. He got the Aegis and cheese in the last fight. The only thing is, they're not going to have Exo for this high ground. Well, maybe for a little bit.
Oh,
but they're not going to have
literally just popped it, like a second ago.
They're not going to have the Wraith King ulti, though. So that's like...
Well, that's why I find it weird that they popped the DP ult. Why did they use it?
I guess, yeah, that's actually a good question.
Like, this tower is dead anyway, right?
Momentum, dude. Okay. Momentum. They feel real good. They want to, you know, they want to blow their load on this tower. I came out way more sexual than I was intending.
All right, well, that's a tower down.
So then they back off with the DP ulti and farming ulti.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Seemed like a little bit of a waste to me, but that's all right. They get the tower, so really what they came for, right?
I guess maybe overestimating a little bit, like what they could get out of it, thinking that maybe they could hit the high ground with it for a bit. But then, you know, they kill the tower with the fortification, with the backdoor protection, and then it's like, oh, well, the enemy team is alive already, so waste of an ulti. Makes sense. Well, Doom almost has a Shiva's. 100
yeah,
gold.
I think things are going to slow down for Navi a little bit. Like you were saying, they really wanted that Roche so they could just kind of walk up and try to end this game. And now, I think, reliant on the next round of core items. That was the 10-second BKB for Gyro, so still pretty healthy there. SNY and about halfway to Butterfly, so that's pretty good for him. You talked about the Shivas. Huge. Lil, very tanky now, just going for these great supportive items that also let him be that frontliner, and BKB for Dendi on the way. So maybe they'll have another go. Try to pick up this Wraith King once more. He's going to get the Assault Kuros coming out next.
I suppose they're probably going to wait for the Gyro Butterfly before taking another smoke. Maybe they'll smoke closer to the Roche spawn time, although it's 5 minutes from now,
yeah,
so...
it's pretty far. I don't know, I mean, I think Wraith King is getting over that hump. You know, that moment of, okay, he went from being pretty manageable, we can kill him 3 times in a fight, to, damn it, we really got to kill this guy again. And the Assault Kuros is just another piece to that puzzle.
Yeah, and he's also sitting on top of a cheese, so... He's going to be very, very hard to kill in the next fight. I mean, the later this game goes, the more damage this Blade Mail and the Radiance are going to do, because he's just going to last so much longer. Like, they're going to need to, at a point, they're going to need to kite him and kill him, you know, just not focus him at all, but then he's got the Radiance just pulsating and the Blade Mail too. It's a bit of a conundrum that they're in with this Wraith King. I think they need to get lucky and get a pick of somebody else before they take a fight with the Wraith King. So, like, if they get the Sand King right now, but Sand King's scouting this.
Smoke on the low ground. It gets broken. They jump in onto Dendi. Remember, he does have a BKB, but they might blow him up before he can use it. Dendi's so low, but hops forward. He'll be the first one to fall in this fight, and they also lose Crystallize. It's kind of a disaster, but now the return damage is out. G falls, and Lil, somehow still alive, gets that last Infernal Blade onto the Sand King. 4 down for Navi, and only 3 down on the side of Gambit. What a crazy fight, but the Gyrocopter and Viper, it felt like they were just obliterated. They did almost nothing.
God, man, you talked about the Wraith King hump, like, he really overcame that hump, and oh my god, is he a problem for them. yeah, this is... It's interesting, because It really all it took was the Radiance and then the Roche steal, and then all of a sudden it gets to the point where his ulti's on such a low cooldown. He constantly has it, can constantly fight. He's building more items. I mean, they're gonna get a rack.
Skeletons are doing so much damage here. No glyph available for the Dire. Down for another minute. This is definitely a lane of barracks. Probably not more, but still a great punish, and that lead that Navi had is just non-existent now. It's within 3K. They might not have this game as under control as they thought.
God, this has gotta hurt to be Navi in a game like this. It was all that Roche play, that Aegis steal, and man, kudos to these guys for being in such a high pressure situation and then doing something which requires like a lot of what's the word? Not patience. Like they were sure of it. You know, they like when they went in there and it was intentional. They knew that was going to work. I saw the Wraith King ping that Roche. Like I saw him go straight for it, completely ignored the fight, and they knew that would work, and it did.
I guess it's confidence, right?
Confidence, right? Okay, that's a pretty simple word. They were very confident in that play. It's something that like they've clearly discussed amongst their team. Maybe in scrims this has been something that they're struggling with, and that they've been working on this sort of Roche control lately because like they've been so keen on it in these games. Not just this one, but in like the previous games. They've been very, very keen on controlling this Roshan. They're very good at it.
Yeah. And now Gambit feeling the effects of this farm. There's an Ancient Apparition Aghanims on the way. Enchantress looking for that Hurricane Pike. She's been pretty slow to come online, but she definitely will. Wraith King, I guess this is a oh no, he's going for the MKB. So big damage out on him next.
Gyro Butterfly coming in.
Yeah, and that's always a little bit painful. Butterfly just getting arrived, and Wraith King is already 1,000 gold away from the MKB. So this window of feeling godlike on the gyrocopter is pretty darn small.
Yeah. The Wraith King can just blink on the gyro now. Well, you saw in the previous team fight they were focusing the Viper, but then they saw that the gyro was like in a vulnerable position. They killed the gyro. There's none of that damage to allow the Viper to execute people with the Q ability. So they just all switched focus immediately to the gyro, even though he was BKB'd, and Wraith King just chomped on him. Like, Wraith King doesn't even look like he has that much damage. I mean, it's 135 plus 87. That's a pretty decent amount for a carry. It's not like a ton, you know? Gyro has even more damage than that, but it's with this crit, man, and with this minus armor, the Radiance, like, pulsating, the Blade Mail. It's all of these things. He's not just carrying in terms of, like, raw right-click damage. It's in terms of so many other things. He's so tanky and just doing so much AoE damage.
Well, back to farm we go. Both sides seem pretty happy on their respective sides of the map. Gambit feeling like they finally see this game within reach and they need to choose their next fight carefully. And I think Navi thinking, guys, we got to be careful not to throw this any further. Let's keep farming until we've got this next round of items. And now they do smoke up on the backside of this gyrocopter. So only 4 heroes smoked up right now.
They have buybacks on everybody but the Wraith King and supports. So the 2 cores but the Wraith King have buybacks. So even if they get a kill off of this, like, I think it's actually an uphill battle from now on for Navi.
Still, finding some pickoffs and forcing buybacks would mean some pretty serious economic damage. I think this game is still within reach. But the smoke will be dodged. Nice movements from Gambit. They will just completely avoid it.
I don't know if they had vision or if they sensed something because the lanes are pushing. And that's one thing about having a lane of mega creeps is that it's so hard to smoke out because the lane is going to be constantly pushing in. If somebody's not pushing out that lane, it's so obvious that a play is being made because they're not just going to let the lane hit their base. So it's really sucks for Navi in trying to make plays. So they go for a second smoke right after pushing out the lane, realizing that that lane made it very obvious. And not looking like they're going to find anybody.
Second time's a charm, or at least they think. Gambit not smoked up, but deep in enemy territory. Now we've got one of these interesting angles where Navi is going to be attacking from Radiant high ground. If hiding in the Roche pit, they see that he's up. This is Refresher Shard territory.
God, this is an important Roshan. Oh god, it's got a refresher orb. It just spawned. Gambit standing on the high ground.
This is a complete stalemate right now. Navi dropped the scan up here and miss it. Not sure where Gambit are, but only so many other places they can be. Seems like Gambit has the exact same idea. Radiant, though, they've got a ward here. And now Navi walk into vision of Gambit.
I like this. They're forcing them back. Like, they don't want to do this Roshan stalemate BS. Like, they force them back by going to the tower.
Hook shot in. General, very bold play forward, but he's in a lot of trouble as he gets stunned up. Big damage coming his way. Now on the other side, it's Dendi on the low ground, but crystallized in the middle of the fight. Lil just barely stays alive, and it seems like Navi might have mitigated enough damage to start to turn this. The Wraith King gets very low, but he brings down the Viper, and now Navi just trying to get back up to their high ground. Wraith King jumps forward to suicide so they can get the slow, and it works like a charm. They find kills on 3. Now LeBron left behind. He's going to be brought down next. The Gyro's already bought back, and this is starting to feel like we're going to a game 3 here as Gambit head up towards the high ground. Double buyback now from Navi, but it's a 3v5 still. Both supports in the grave.
What a turnaround. Once again, the Roche control. Like, I know that wasn't around the Roche pit area, and I know I keep harping on it, but these guys, like, they are so quick to know what's going to win them these Roche fights. They intentionally pushed that to force Navi's hand, that they had to go back or they were going to take damage on the tower. And then that allows them to take the angle that they want. It forces, like, God, it just forced Navi's hand, and now they take Roche on.
Absolutely, Roche destined
These
to
guys,
fall.
like, these guys have a good captain. Like, strategically, their captain must be like insane, or their just general team, you know, idea of what they want to do in the game. Like, it's got to be really good because you can just see the confidence in their plays here. Like, they're all on the same page, and it's very specific things that they're doing, almost as if they've learned these things recently, or they've been talking about it. You know,
Yeah.
like these things are never unintentional when it comes to players like this.
Well, and now DP is getting to that uncontrollable size where she's got the Octarine core, also the Refresher Shard, so the ultimate is basically up forever. You can use it for a fight and then just use it again to punish that high ground if she stays alive. And Navi now 2 heroes with buyback on cooldown. Nobody else has the gold for it.
His ultimate is 76-second cooldown. Lasts for 35 seconds. 50% uptime DP ulti with this Arcane Rune. Oh, and he actually has a Refresher Shard, so... That's a lot of ghosts.
Well, BKB on the Doom.
Skeletons and ghosts and everything on this team.
Maybe a big item pickup for Navi, but I don't know. That'll be enough to win this next fight. Feels like it's a matter of initiation. Maybe if Navi could get a catch...
He needs to doom the DP before anything. That's I mean, it's such a hard, like, DP's gonna know that, you know, he's gonna play around that, but that's kind of how they're gonna win this fight. He can't doom with the DP having already ulted anymore. Like, the DP's tanky enough to survive it.
All right, Gambit going the Shrine route. That's 1 exorcism used. Looks like the Arcane Rune actually expired before he used it. That's unfortunate.
That sucks.
I don't know if that was a misclick or what, but... Exorcism down?
What are you doing, G? What's a DD bot? Good God. That Wraith King's gonna hit hard.
Oh boy.
Picks up the bottle.
Nice
Whose
play.
bottle is that? Is that Death Prophet's bottle?
Must be. I don't think anybody else picked one up.
I know some teams sometimes pick up a bottle in late game for bottling DDs and such. It's like an OG tactic. They would do that.
So here we go. Refresher Shard in the inventory for the DP. And this double damage rune at the ready. Nice little blueberry in that bottle.
He's a lot of base damage too. It's going to do a lot of damage.
I mean, we think of Viper as a tanky hero. A double damage Wraith King is just going to cut right through him.
Oh God, yeah. He doesn't care. Dendi even went for the 6 corrosive skin stats, so he's like that much tankier, you know, doesn't even matter.
Slow and steady here. Gambit being very cautious not to throw this lead away, I think realizing how good of an opportunity this is. How far they've come. They're going to play it patiently.
Yeah, I mean, they could... It's pretty reasonable for them to close this one out, and then they get a game 3 against Navi, and I mean, that's... What a run it would be to come back in a series like this and then win a qualifier spot or something like that. Like that's the dream, you know, where it's like it looked like they were gonna be in the lower bracket from this game, but they turn it around, and then the next game they could take that momentum, and God, that could take them even further. So there's a lot riding on this game for them.
Here comes the high ground siege, the double damage rune forced to be used. There is a glyph available. And now G just uses that exorcism. Still has the refresher shard, as well as the cheese. Tier 3 tower down. Initiation from Lil. BKB. Shivas. They want the Death Prophet. She'll be the Doom target. Wraith King jumps in deep, but they are going to bring this DP to the grave. It's a pretty good start for Navi, and now they're going to split. They're going to focus fan score. There's the first Wraith King death. Crystallize up on the high ground, getting split apart by Cheshire Cat and Big Num. Hook shot across from General. Crystallize stays alive for a while, but ends up going down. No buyback available on him. Now buyback from the DP. Dendy gets caught by the stun. Cheshire Cat trying to make his way out, but this Doombringer doing a lot of damage. Wraith King still hurts so much, and he's got this Aegis of the Immortal. His ultimate comes up in only 15 seconds. Very hard to deal with, but Navi took this fight right. They forced one buyback already. It's not over.
Death Prophet fought back, refresher shard, used the ulti, Gyro's dead. This is going to be Megas, I think. My God, look at that Wraith King ultimate with the Talon.
Yep. He's right back up. Cogs come out. Only one lane of barracks remains.
The Aegis just despawned. Maybe they can kill the Wraith King, actually.
It's an opportunity at the very least. G, the target they want to go for, but he's got the cheese. Now Lil getting very low. That's going to be a dead Doom. No buyback there either. It's a 3v5. Navi running out of options. They need to hold for 45 seconds. LeBron, he'll go down also. And the last two survivors, General and Dendy, as General hooks in to try to make some space. It's not going to be enough, and GG's called. That's a game 3 coming as Gambit square it up.
Damn, dude. Oh, that was all from that one Roche play. Oh, they were so solid after that too. Like they knew exactly what they were doing, and they didn't rush anything. It'd be so easy to get overexcited in a game like that and just throw. I've been there, man.
Absolutely. Navi